Okay, so here at the top of the label here on the front of our bag, you'll see we list the country of origin. Now, the country of origin in especially coffee these days doesn't necessarily mean it's going to taste a certain way. We're getting great tasting coffees from all around the world. Beside the country that we list here, we also have the name of the farm and the farmer. This helps us to understand where the coffee came from and whose hands actually got to grow it. So the rest of this label helps us to demystify what this coffee actually is like. We include things like the region that it came from, the variety of coffee that it actually is, the elevation at which it was grown, and then we even include a little slider here at the bottom of light to heavy, and that's in reference to how strong of a flavor this coffee will be, how heavy it'll be in your mouth, etc. Also up here in the top left corner, you'll notice we have this little emblem that says here washed. Generally, our coffees are going to come in two different processes, where the coffee will either be a washed or a natural. The washed means that the coffee is going to taste very clean. It's going to have very straightforward, clear flavors, and it's going to be a little bit lighter in body. Sometimes our coffees will be natural, meaning that that coffee will be a little bit heavier of a taste. The flavors will be a little bit more complex and a little bit richer. And so this might get a little technical, but with variety and elevation, what you'll find if you're looking at these things is that they actually tell you quite a bit of what this coffee is going to taste like, regardless of the country that it came from, much like wine. The variety of wine determines the types of wine that you'll enjoy. Same thing with the variety of coffee. For example, this one here is a Castillo and a Colombia varietal, and it was grown at about 6,000 feet. Now, knowing this information will tell you over time, of course, in practice, that these coffees are going to generally be kind of fruity and relatively floral in flavor. Also, I wanted to point out to you that the tasting notes are our own tasting notes. That means I'm tasting this coffee and identifying what flavor notes I'm enjoying and noticing in this coffee. Not everyone's palates are the same, but this will generally give you an idea of where this coffee is headed and some of the general flavor notes that you'll get to enjoy. Also want to point out to you on the sides, we don't just add those for decoration. On this side here, we have some brewing suggestions. They include everything from what kind of equipment to use, what kind of water to use and at what temperature, some of the different recipes you can use depending on how you like to brew your coffee. And then also on this side, I include here the date on which it was roasted and then who the roaster was that was able to roast this coffee. Most of our coffees, you'll see us will date them as a guideline for you. This coffee will begin to lose flavor as it sits, and so we highly recommend that you use this bag within a month of the roast date. And lastly, this is how we recommend you enjoy your coffee. Sitting on your back patio, basking in the sun. Enjoy. Well, this oxidizes over time and loses flavor. Was I supposed to use oxidize? Did you say not to?
No.
Oh, shit.
Loses flavor. Cup of coffee.
What am I saying? Do that. Bag.
Yes!
And lastly, this is how we want you to enjoy your... freaking, I just said enjoy.